looking for. I was also like researching into what master's program I could go into, and I felt like I found global sustainability at USF, and it just seemed very right. Like it fit into the purpose of that I had already started for myself, and yeah, so that's how I came here. Um, I started the program in 2019. This is also my last semester, and my concentration is climate change and sustainability. I also got a certificate in energy sustainability as well. Did I answer all the questions? I think so.
And then Lauren, do you want to go next?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren Fernandez. I currently live in Miami, Florida. So I actually completed the entire program online. So even before COVID, I was doing everything virtually. I actually did my undergrad at USF in person. I graduated from there over 10 years ago. And I actually am a parent. So I've done this online part-time as a parent and working as well. So that's something, I don't know if any of you are in that situation, but I've found that to be like a really, for me, like a really flexible way to be able to complete my master's. My undergrad major was in interdisciplinary social sciences. So the past decade, most of my background was in nonprofit, like primarily social services. So I was really looking for a career switch, and I've always been passionate about sustainability and caring for the environment. And I wanted to find a way to practically put that, in a way I could, find a career and focus on that. So I, did some research and remembered I had heard about this program through USF, and already having familiarity with USF as an undergrad, I got really excited about being able to come again and saw that I could do the whole thing online, while still living in Miami and not having to move back to Tampa. So I started the program about 2.5 years ago, which that's also been really helpful if any of you have, children or working full time. I found it to be really flexible. I was able to take semesters off when I needed, when things were very chaotic in my life. And my focus has been in climate change and sustainability as well. And I'm also graduating this weekend virtually. So this is my last semester with PCGS.
Well, congratulations to both of you for graduating just this weekend. So Jake, do you want to answer the question now?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jake. So I am from here, Tampa, locally, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do after high school. So then I thought I'd want to go to USF just because it's like really close to home, and so I thought about business, and I ended up deciding on marketing. And so I did marketing at USF Tampa, but I also have always had a passion for environmental science. So I took environmental science my freshman year of undergrad at USF, and I heard this speaker came in, and he was talking about this program, and he was talking about a lot of like urban planning and like a lot of interesting stuff that I had never heard of before, and I forget his name, but it just sounded like, because I was always looking for a way to mix together like marketing and environmental science, and so sustainability kind of was the like definitely like sounded interesting to me because it seemed like a perfect mix. And so after I completed my marketing, or basically from that point on, I started to focus on doing well in undergrad and trying to get into this program for my master's, and I was able to get in. And I wasn't really sure what concentration I wanted to choose originally. I thought about climate change, and I also thought about sustainable business because of my business background, but I decided on tourism, and so far I'm almost done. I have one more semester with tourism, and yeah, it's been really great, and I am now currently finishing my ACE, and will graduate in December. So that is my story.
Cool. So that's a good brief overview of all of our panelists and stuff, and now we're just going to get more into our actual experience at PCGS. So my next question is, what is one project you've worked on during your time at PCGS that you felt is the most important? And that can either be like work that you've done, your internship, or something school related, like a school class project. Any one of you guys can go first, whoever wants to go first. All right.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so yeah, based on the reason why I chose to come here, when I got here in the first semester, mm, I made myself known to professors, especially Dr. T.H. Cohen. You're probably gonna meet him when you start the school. Is an amazing person, personally, I think. So yeah, I told him about projects I'd been doing from Nigeria. One of the things I was doing was making jewelries out of plastic waste. And so when I told him about it, he introduced me to 3D printing and recycling. And that's when I started this whole project about melting plastic, like trying to find small scale solutions to plastic recycling. And we were able to experiment with making 3D filaments out of plastic bottles, bottle caps. We I also made more jewelries from plastic waste. Then we later dabbled into melting the plastic caps and making like flat sheets from it that could be used for signages and things like that. So that's like one major project that I've really enjoyed, and it's been like it's given me hope. Like there's actually a solution to plastic waste. As you might all know that plastic pollution is like a big issue that we need to tackle urgently, and it looks like there's no solution or something, but there is solution. And working firsthand on that project was an awesome moment for me. Yeah, like, and it's something I will definitely continue even after graduation.
Yeah, that's really true. Definitely a lot of times the plastic waste seems overwhelming and like there's no solution. So I really like your response to that. Jake, I think that you were gonna go. Do you want to share your answer?
Sure, I'll go. So yeah, my concentration, sustainable tourism. My first semester last fall, I was in introduction to sustainable tourism and principles, something like that. I forget the name of it, but anyways, I had a project for that class, like the semester long project, and I ended up working with another student, and my Dr. Brooke Hansen is the director of sustainable tourism, and she ended up telling us about this nonprofit organization called Ocean Allies, and what they do is they work with they're based in Clearwater at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, and they work with local restaurants towards like developing a plan to becoming ocean friendly, like ocean or having ocean friendly like items, like basically it's a plan that like helps these local restaurants and other small businesses stray away from single-use plastics because of how toxic they are to the ocean. So our project for that was like working with Ocean Allies and like developing a manual for because they have like a whole certification program where they get volunteers that want to work with them, and they like certify them to become like Ocean Allies basically, and then these volunteers would go around to the restaurants and businesses and try to like try to see if they want to become ocean friendly certified. So yeah, we did that, and the manual turned out great, and it was a great experience, a great project because it taught me like how like small little solutions like that, like a nonprofit organization can make a big difference. Like they have about or back when I did the project, they had about 30 businesses that were ocean friendly certified, and like I'm sure that they've only grown even more since then, and it was just a great project, and it really helped me find what I'm passionate about with sustainability. And that's what that is single-use plastics. And backstory, kind of a side story on that. The way they were able to get these businesses to stray away from single-use plastics is they worked with another company called Auburn Supply Company, or Auburn Supply Group, and they manufacture compostable items. So basically, Ocean Allies was like the middleman, and they got these businesses in touch with Auburn Supply Company, and so these businesses started to order from Auburn Supply Company to use organic, plant-based products instead of single-use plastics. So yeah, that was probably definitely my coolest project that I've done so far.
Awesome. Lauren, what would you say is your project you felt is the most important?
So I think actually, and this kind of leads into, I know we're going to talk about this as well, but I would say my ACE as well, that I've worked on this summer. So I've also, like Tosin mentioned, Dr. Thomas Culhane, he's the director for the climate change and sustainability concentration, and I've taken several classes with him. And like Tosin mentioned, he's an amazing professor. He's very creative. So if you take classes with him, just prepared to think really out of the box in a really good way. He will really challenge you to like take your education out to others. And I think I really appreciate that he encourages us to be activists with our knowledge and not just keep it to ourselves. But that's like one of the ways we are going to like help slow down climate change. And so I've worked with him on my ACE this summer, which has been research on the zero waste movement. If hopefully a lot of you are familiar with that. So that's just basically like the pursuit of trying to like for people to reduce as much of their own personal waste and collective waste as possible. And so what I did is I researched different aspects of privilege and accessibility in the zero waste movement. And I researched like different ways that race, class, and abilities play into folks being able to participate in zero and low waste living. And I also, the zero waste movement has really been dominated by a lot of white voices and upper middle class able-bodied white women. So what I wanted to do was amplify the voices of Black and Indigenous and other people of color, Latinx folks, Asian folks who have been leaders in the zero waste movement, and to talk about like how zero waste is actually an ancient practice of especially Indigenous communities and around the globe. So I think that for me has really like shaped so much of like how I want to like take what I've learned into a future career. And if you have the opportunity, I'm sure Dr. Culhane will invite all of you to come to the NGO he lives on called the Rosebud Continuum. And I really encourage you like go, like I even traveled up there from Miami and like got to see like all the ways, like all these creative ways he's recycling plastics, ways that I can do that at home. Like similar to kind of things Tosin was mentioning. So I think like just, take advantage of like getting to know someone like Dr. Culhane, spend time at Rosebud, he's going to invite all of you to volunteer there. So I think you definitely take advantage of that. You'll learn so much.
Awesome. That sounds like a really cool project. Are you like having any sort of end result material that you would be able to share with people as part of your project?
Well, tonight, I actually have to do my presentation with Dr. Culhane. So if anybody wanted to join, I could get the link to the video and we could send it out somehow if people wanted to come in. And I think a few others are going to present their ACEs as well. So it's going to be like a discussion through just Microsoft Teams if anyone was interested. And I'm also just trying to like put like parts of it into different blogs, which I had kind of been doing throughout. And putting them in the different Facebook groups. Dr. Culhane, as I'm sure all of you are in, like the different Facebook groups he creates, so like students can interact with each other more, and alumni as well. So I'm planning to put some of those in there, in those groups.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'll answer this question as well. So one thing that I have found is a really great thing that I've been a part of that any of you can also take part in is Dr. Brooke Hansen, as part of her Sustainable Development Goal class, she created a Sustainable Development Goal Action Alliance. So that's based on the UN SDGs, and her SDG course last fall came up with the idea to create an action alliance to kind of make USF a center of SDG action. And with that, I created a sustainability film series as my semester project. And then I kind of through that became an intern of the SDG Action Alliance. And so I made a film series that's going on this fall that you guys will be receiving, if you haven't already, information with the flyer for the film series, an invitation to join. You can like the Facebook page, the SDG Action Alliance Facebook page, to be up to date about that. But basically, it's just each month we dedicated each month to a certain SDG. And then we're going to host a film and then also a discussion to talk about specific actions that's being done to achieve success in this SDG. And then also just any comments we have about how the film moved us, or kind of any other ideas. Really just, it's an open discussion how we want to move it. But that definitely has been a project. That's a really cool thing about this program, is that a lot of the classes have semester-long projects, and a lot of them are really open-ended, where you can take them to be kind of whatever you want them to be. And if you have an idea of something you want to work in, then you can really take that and you can utilize resources that your professors have, and maybe go on a project they're already working on, or create your own project off of that, or even something completely different. There's a lot of opportunities within this program to do so. So then that kind of gets me into my next project. I know Lauren already answered this question. So Tosin, do you want to tell us a little bit about your ACE? And also I just want to say a reminder that we're getting kind of close to 3:30, so we want to try to keep these answers a little shorter. So we have time for questions.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm doing an internship for my ACE project. And it's with the Green Business Bureau. It's a third-party online green business certification company. And my summary of what I'm doing there is just to like review their initiatives to see if they're still actually valuable and applicable to businesses. So they focus on their target market is small and medium scale enterprises. Like they develop guidelines with affordable prices, of course, to help them become more sustainable, or like build a better sustainability framework for themselves and reduce their ecological footprint. Yep.
Cool. That sounds, yeah, I've seen things about the Green Business Bureau. I definitely think that that's a cool ACE project. What about you, Jake?
So I did my ACE this summer, and also in the spring with the solid waste department for the city of Tampa, and I learned a lot about recycling. And before coronavirus, I was able to do a lot of like public education and go to events and kind of teach people about recycling, because Tampa has a like 36% contamination rate in their recycling. So our goal is to try to lower that, because the national average is like 20%. So we're definitely working on that, and we're going to implement a program to enforce the recycling here. But coronavirus kind of shut that down. So I've just been doing a lot of recycling education through graphics, and also working on like public speaking and presentations and stuff like that with my coworkers, and also doing research on other enforcement programs, and we're working on a composting program as well. So it's been really interesting.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. That's some pretty important stuff. My ACE project I'm doing this fall, and I'm an intern with Environment Florida, which is a subsidiary of Environment America. And what I'm going to be is their ocean conservation intern, and it's going to be very outreach based. So I'm going to be hosting webinars about ocean conservation, understanding legislation that's affecting that, and then also reaching out to, or doing blog posts and reaching out to kind of high-powered people that influence ocean conservation, specifically in Florida, and seeing how what projects they're doing and hopefully getting them on webinars to educate the public and Environment Florida's members about it. And as the Coverdell Fellow, part of the fellowship is that you have to have an internship that serves America's underserved communities. So a focus of the webinars I'm going to do are how marginalized communities in Florida are disproportionately affected by ocean climate change, because oftentimes we talk about that, and we will talk about how marginalized communities in developing countries will be more disproportionately affected, but we don't usually talk about how people within our country, within Florida even, are disproportionately affected. So I want to do some more research about that and raise awareness about that as well. So then going on to our next question, so the college offers a number of certifications for our students for their professional development. Have you guys taken part in any certifications, and why do you feel that that's valuable? Anyone can answer. Jake, do you want to answer?
Yeah, I participated in a four session lead certification. I still have to take my exam, but I think that that's definitely a good certification if you're interested in that kind of stuff to do, because it's only growing in value. Lead is definitely a big thing, and also I'm looking at doing my sustainable business certification in the fall. But I think any of the certifications are good. It just depends on what you're interested in.
Yeah, I also was able to take a lead webinar preparation through PCGS because they give a discounted rate for students. That was really helpful. In transparency, I didn't end up passing my lead exam, but I also took it several months after my son was born. So it was a really hectic time in my life last year. So I'm hoping to take it again. And I think it's, like Jake was saying, it's a really good certification to try and get, because a lot of sustainability jobs are requiring it.
Yeah, for sure. I've noticed that that a lot of sustainability jobs, and it depends on the field you want to go into, but a lot of them, if you're looking to be a sustainability director or work for like cities or companies, a lot of them want you to have the LEED certification, because that just shows that you know a little bit more about LEED practices within industry or within a town or city or county, whatever you work for. I have done the LEED training as well, but I have not taken the exam yet either, just because I had a full course load this summer, so I didn't have time to study. And then I also just did the Clio Institute. They had a climate and food justice certification that just closed up yesterday. So I did that, and that was really great because it was designed to be accessible to people, not just people in like the ivory tower of academia, but people, it was like $25 or it was free if you needed a scholarship. And that was just kind of to make that information accessible to everyone. And I thought that was a really great certification. And multiple professors, Dr. Dorsey, Dr. Brooke Hansen, and TH, they all helped run the certification program. And then I also did a certification with the Nonprofit Leadership Center in Tampa, and I got a certificate in fundraising fundamentals or something like that. But I did that just because I'm really interested in nonprofit work, and I felt that that would be really important for me to have knowledge of fundraising. So yeah, PCGS sends out a lot of information. In our new student handbook, we have a whole page of charts with different partners, organizations, and then also a section on different certificates you can get. So definitely look into that if you're looking to develop yourself more professionally on top of your degree. Tozin, have you gotten any certifications?
Yes. So very quickly, I'll run through. I also did the LEED training, the workshop, but I haven't done the exam yet because I'm still trying to figure out if I actually would need it or not. But I took a class called Six Sigma for Sustainability. It's almost like a business class, and since I'm tending towards entrepreneurship and sustainable business, it was valuable because through that class, you are able to, you have the chance to write a certification exam, the Green Belt certification exam, Green Belt Six Sigma certification exam. It does cost a bit, but I think it's quite useful to have. That class will take you through like almost everything you need to be able to write and pass the exam and get your certificate. Then one other opportunity that I just wanted to quickly introduce is the USF Student Innovator Incubator Program. So if you have a business idea or any kind of business idea that it might be, you have a chance to pitch your company and get a certificate of entrepreneurship after the program. So I did that, and I got I got trainings with like writing a business plan, pitching your participating in different pitch competitions, getting possible funding, and also a certificate as well. So that's something outside of Patel, of course. But if you are thinking across the business line, then it's something you might want to explore. Yep.
Cool. I didn't know about that opportunity. That sounds really good. And then our final question is just PCGS has a student development office, which I mentioned at the beginning of this talk. Have any of you guys utilized this service, and how did you find it, or why did you utilize the service?
Yeah, I did. So with I think I was reached out to via email, encouraging me to sign up and have like a session with Kelly Gaskell, the career advisor, my first semester. And so I've had at least 2 or 3 calls with her throughout the time, and I think that was really helpful, just to keep getting some more different information to her at different stages of where I was at with the program. She suggested different organizations for me to get involved with locally that would help build my resume, which I think that's really important to do, because especially in a place like Miami, it's so much about connections and who you know, and for things. So that's been like really helpful for me to kind of figure out, okay, where do I join? Like, who do I get to know? And like, how do I network? And she's also been really helpful with like resume building as well, like things that I wouldn't have known about or thought about. I think she's been super helpful with that.
Great, yeah, that definitely sounds really helpful. Has anyone else utilized this service?
Yeah, I did at the first semester when I came into the college. Kelly helped me with with like drafting my resume, and then I also had a meeting with her at the beginning of this semester in preparation towards graduation, just to like again review what other skills I've added since I got here and how to better develop my portfolio. I think it's quite helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest assets of that is just that a lot of people come in and they have no idea what a resume should look like, or specifically like a graduate resume. And I think that that's a really big asset, and also helping you craft your LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn, Kelly really shares the importance of having a LinkedIn, and then just helping you kind of tailor what you want your career to be. I met with her before I started working alongside her, and I remember she had me, say organizations I wanted to work for. Before you even come in, you have to fill out a sheet, and it just really kind of sets up a good meeting and you kind of leave feeling like you kind of have a little bit of a plan of what you want to do. And I think it's easy when you're in a program and you have all these opportunities ahead of you and you don't quite know what direction you want to go in. It kind of helps make it a little smaller and a little bit more narrow. So I definitely recommend you guys taking advantage of that service, because it really is there for students. And then I think we're gonna now open it up to any questions. So if you guys want to like raise your hand or anything if you have any questions for us. I know we went a little bit over time, but we did wait a few minutes to start. But yeah, so now just raise your hand if you have any questions, and feel free to, I don't know if you see the like little raise your hand button, it's a hand, and then just feel free to ask. Or if you're not comfortable with that, you can message. All right, yeah, Stephen.
Thanks for having us. I wrote a bunch of questions in Word, but I'm just going to kind of ask the short ones instead of the philosophical ones since we're short on time. I was just wondering, are students mentored and have regular meetings, or is this kind of something that you have to take upon yourself to do?
I would say that, yeah, students aren't typically mentored. It really depends on I think your ACE is a big thing, because for your ACE, which is your like final project, you can either do an internship or a research project, and it kind of depends the nature of that. You could be working under a faculty advisor that is asking you routine questions, needs to routinely meet up with you because you're working alongside of them. It's not necessarily the same where you are working directly under a professor the whole time, but it also can really be what you make of it. Like if you are interested in the research a professor is doing, you can go and try to be a part of it. Or, you know, if they are working on a project, you can be a part of that. And then that can be more of a mentorship thing, but it's not necessarily a defined, like scheduled mentor, I would say.
Yeah, I think too that like I agree with what Leah said, like you have to make of it what you can. Like even for me as like a distance learning student, like I really went out of my way to you know, communicate a lot with Dr. Colhane, you know, through email, and like, you know, I attended live classes when I could. You know, went up to Rosebud to work on some of my research in person, and to talk about some things in person. And I think that was really helpful as well. And I also attended like an in-person event for one of Dr. Dorsey's classes when our class did a partnership with the city of Dunedin, who were trying to do a public solar energy project on like government buildings. And I think that was also like really helpful, like just getting to know professors in that way, and like talking with them, and, you know, talking with city officials we were in partnership with. So I think just taking advantage of like these things that come across when you can.
Just to add to what Leah and Lauren had said, yeah, putting yourself out there matters a lot. And one thing you should know is that most of Patel College faculty are willing and open to help at any time. And then I've worked with Dr. Brookhansen, I've worked with Dr. Cohen, I've worked with Dr. Dorsey and Dr. Heather Rothrock. And once they know about your project, like it's okay to put yourself out there, tell them what you're doing. If, for example, I was into fashion design and I didn't really have any, like there was no stated course for fashion design exactly, or like waist upcycling and all of that. But when I told Dr. Cohen about what I do, he was able to like, he was open enough to like provide the mentoring I needed, even more than I needed. And then once other faculties start hearing about your interests, they would most likely divert or like introduce you to resources that are helpful to you. So I've had the opportunity to work with Dr. Dorsey as well, based on the fact that I am interested in sustainable fashion design. So they're really like open to like communicating with you and helping you through the process of whatever career path you're trying to, or like whatever you're trying to achieve out of the school.
I also have something to add. I kind of going along with what Tosin was saying. And this doesn't really have to do with mentors, but I would just say like staying connected is very important. Like I always made sure to go to, well, now it's different with coronavirus and all that, but before all that, you know, like last year, I made sure I went to the career fair, which is how I got my internship, and I made sure to go to the speaker series. And even if you can watch them virtually, like that's definitely a great thing to do too as well. But the point is like any connections that you hear of, like any organizations you hear your professor talk of, like all of that can lead to like an internship or to your ACE or to even a job after grad school. So I just think that you know, yeah, like Tosin was saying, putting yourself out there and gaining trying to get those connections is very important.
Yeah, and I think just like a final note on that is that a really great thing is that a thing that I love about Patel College is that the professors and faculty aren't just here to, educate us about the issues. They actually want us to go out there and make these changes and actually do sustainability actions. So they will be excited and more than happy to get you going and to help you with projects. And they want to hear your ideas and things like that, because the point of this is to, change the world. So if we don't do things, then we're not going to. So I think that the faculty are really great about that. I see that, Sam, you asked, what is the workload like if a student is working full-time? Would you recommend against taking 3 courses in 1 semester? I think that it might be a little difficult to do full-time student. Like, I work 20 hours a week, and this semester I'm also going to be doing another 10 hours with my other internship. And I think that, and I'm taking 3 classes, and I think it's going to be a lot. It really just depends on how you work and kind of what you put into it. But I think that it is, I think it will be difficult. But I've also worked the whole time I've been in the program, but that's not full time, like 20 hours and taking a full course load the whole time. So it kind of depends on how you manage it.
Yeah, I saw that question as well. Yeah, I would say like that sounds like a lot personally for me, because I never did that as well. I'm also part-time, but I think that I think I've definitely heard of other students that said that they took like 2 courses and worked full-time, and they said that was like it wasn't too much. I mean, it was still a lot, but it wasn't too much. So I think I would say like 2 courses is definitely doable.
Just to add to that, you might think in the context that you might have courses where you have to work as a team to do a project. You have to submit discussions weekly, and you also have like other assignments that you have to do. So, and then you're taking 3 courses. It could become a lot. Just depends on how you want to like schedule your time. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely agree with all of that. I see, Sheila, that you said in here, you asked about the UN SDG course. I think so I took a elective. I didn't take concepts until this summer, but that's also because I kind of had some background knowledge in undergrad. And I think that you don't have to follow like a certain path. You don't have to take all your core courses at once. You do need to have them all done before you do your ACE proposal. But you can mix in electives in there. I took an elective my first semester, so I definitely think that it's doable. I think that also, so we have Kelly Gaskell on here, the Director of Student Development, and I want to let her say a few words about the services that she offers and more about the college. So Kelly, I'll hand it off to you.
Hi, Leah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, you can. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's nice to see some familiar faces that I've spoken with on the phone over the summer. And so welcome. And also thank you to our panel today. It's been a really interesting discussion. I've kind of been on the sidelines, but I just wanted to say a few words to our incoming students. As the assistant director of the college, one of the departments I manage is the Office of Student Development. So hopefully you've received information from us to include our student handbook, our speaker series, and some other exciting things that we have going on this fall. But as part of my role for the college, I do manage all of our alumni relations. So as part of student development, I'm happy to connect you with alum for instance, Stephen, mentorship opportunities or opportunities for maybe an internship. So when we meet, we have a discussion, like Leah said, about your interest areas, and I try to align you with faculty or alum or our business partners that can help you achieve your goals, whether it's an internship for your capstone, or whether you want to do an internship before your capstone. So we have a number of students that do several internships before they actually end up doing their final one. So my role in that department is to help you all build up your resume and also align you with the resources that we have. So our college is really big on partnerships. So we have relationships with major corporations that can be helpful to you. And the other team I manage for the college is communications and marketing. So everything that comes out via email or Facebook comes from my office, including job opportunities for students, webinars, whatever opportunities the faculty bring to my attention, we go ahead and share that with students. So it's important to read your emails from our office and also follow us on Facebook. But that's all I have, unless someone has any questions for me. Thanks, Leah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Kelly. I think we have time for like just one or two more questions if anyone has anything else they want to ask. I know we're a little bit over in time, but I don't want to like end it abruptly. If you guys have anything else that you would like to ask before we close out. Okay, no more questions. All right. Well, that's good. This has been a really great discussion. I hope that you guys have found some good insight and feel more prepared to come into PCGS. If you have any more last minute questions that you want to ask me or ask Kelly about your career planning, or me just in general, feel free to reach out. I definitely am open to answering questions. I've talked with a few people on the phone about my experience, so definitely don't feel shy reaching out. So thank you so much to our panelists as well. You guys did a great job. And just goodbye, everyone. I hope that you have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all at PCGS.
Bye, everyone. Good
Bye,
luck.
everyone.
Bye.
Everyone, thank you so much, panel. Thank you, Leah.
Bye.
You're welcome.